Hi everyone, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to present my dissertation. The title is The Impact of El Nino Southern Oscillation Events on Indonesian Food and Agriculture Stock Prices by me, myself, Lucelle, Leong out of Faatihah. So here the contents are first abstract, introduction, problem statement, literature review, hypothesis, methodology, result and findings, and also I will give you the recommendation and conclusion. So here's are the abstract. So this study examines the impact of ENSO and El Nino in particular on Indonesian food and agriculture stock returns and tests for the existence of significance asymmetries in the way that these climate events influence the financial markets. In times of regular disruptions like El Nino, and then by oceanic temperatures as well as massive climate adjustment, the agricultural industry suffers significantly in terms of economics since it directly relies on the climate conditions. So here's are the introduction for you. El Nino, or we can also call ENSO, is a complex climatic phenomenon characterized by great changes in the air pressure, wind circulations, and sea surface temperature over the equatorial Pacific. These changes directly impact the weather patterns throughout the world in such a manner that extends even further to control most of the world agricultural and economic activities, as well as the entire environment. And here are the problem that we can face it in Indonesia. So rice is the source of seasonal employment and income for most of the 215 million people who live in rural Indonesia. Growth in rice production since the early 1970s has indeed been impressive and largely the result of this expansion. Nevertheless, growing rice remains sensitive to climatic variability, including the impacts of the El Nino, and a long-term status analysis from 1830 to 1953 shows that according to Quinn, 93% of Indonesia's droughts were during El Nino years. So here's are the literature review that the impact of climate on agriculture, climate variability, especially during the onset of El Nino Southern, affects agricultural productivity. An impact of ENSO on economic sectors, high fluctuation and cyclic tendencies are created by occurrence of both El Nino and La Nina phases in the ENSO event, which is a global weather pattern. And here's the different measurements of El Nino. So we have two measurements here, SST, which is the sea surface temperature, and also SOI, it's Southern Oscillation Index. Both above indexers are time series measurements used commonly and are frequently defined. So here's are the hypotheses that I use. If p-value less than 0.05, ordinarily, if the p-value is less than the preset level, usually 0.05, then one rejects the hypothesis of no difference in pairs. It means that there will be a difference in the two conditions with statistical significance. However, if when the p-value is larger or equal to the alpha level, then there would be no rejection of a null hypothesis, meaning that the difference is quite likely explained by random chances and hence not a systematic effect. So here's are the methodology that I use. I use random walk test to see the weak form efficiency, which is augmented Dickey-Fuller test and Phillips-Perron test. And I also conducted an event study how to see the abnormal return that we can see from the stocks. And here are the sources. I use IDX and also Yahoo Finance. And here's are the results. So from the figures, it can be observed that the abnormal returns are quite mixed during this selected period. The The days before the ENSO event show both negative and small positive returns, hence indicating a market that is uncertain and most probably reacting to news that is anticipatory or speculative of the impending climate impacts. The minimum and maximum values should be noticed for, and with the minimum at minus 0.020 as witnessed on day 6 at 0.0129, indicating volatile trading session as the event draws near. So, overall, the descriptive statistic surrounding the ENSO event of abnormal returns suggests that such climatic phenomena may significantly influence the behavior of markets, which would be translated through increasing volatility and rather negative returns as the market anticipates and reacts to the effect of these events, either actual or perceived. This, therefore, accentuate the importance of consideration of the climate factors in the investment and risk management strategies, especially in the cases of sectors like agriculture, where there is a direct effect because of environmental conditions. So these also the results. I conduct paired sample t-test results. So the result of observation that the mean difference is minus 0.007720 with a standard deviation around that difference of 0.007264. We also have information on the computed standard error that the mean difference to inform us on the precision to the mean estimate. The latter describes a variability in returns about the average. Precisely, we could not reject at the 90%, 95% level of confidence that difference is not statistically different from zero. From minus 0.012872 to 0.0025648. This implies that compared with time before ENSO event, the average abnormal return drops markedly after the ENSO event. The associate t statistic is minus 3.388 and the two-sided p-value given 9 degrees of freedom is 0.008. So here's the conclusion. The symmetrical effect of the El Nino phenomenon on stock prices in the Indonesian food and agriculture sector can be clearly identified through the detailed analysis in the thesis. Possible positive impacts could really weigh over the negative impacts. This is clearly seen in the abnormal returns reduction, which is a measure of the adverse economic impacts and can also show market sentiment toward agricultural productivity during El Nino phases. This would imply that research has discovered a heightened market responses to these climate events in the form of increased trading volume activity. This increased activity would point to a market that is not passively responding to external climate shock, but is actually actively managing risk through anticipatory adjustment in portfolio holdings. This means that such times have highly volatile market behavior, which is driven by the uncertainty and speculative trading as investors respond to real and perceived risk associated with such climatic disruptions. And here's are the recommendations. This is a call for investors to be more attentive in incorporating comprehensive assessments of climate risk into their strategies for investment. It should not be passive realization of the possibility of the impact of climate hazards such as El Nino, but an active engagement towards adjusting investment portfolios in advance of the events. The potential loss of agricultural production and corresponding lowering of stock prices could be better mitigated by investors if they could participate in the occurrence. They can turn their investment towards sectors that are less climate sensitive in the periods the presence of El Nino is forecast, or they can raise in those sectors that benefit from those climatic conditions. That's it for me. Thank you very much.